Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. And hi everybody. Here we again. Okay. So this session is going to be the last session for this chapter 7, Managing Project Risk. Okay. So the next learning objective, the last learning objective is to describe the various risk strategies, risk monitoring, and risk control as well as risk evaluation. Okay, it's continuation from the project risk management process. Okay, so the risk planning and risk identification, okay, as well as the risk assessment has been discussed in previous video. Okay, so for this video we are going to look into the risk strategies, risk monitoring and control, risk response, and risk evaluation. Okay. So, in terms of the risk strategies, either we want to accept or ignore the risk, okay, avoid the risk completely, or reduce the likelihood or impact of the risk if the risk occurs, or transfer the risk to someone else, the insurance, for example. Okay. For the risk monitoring, we look into the risking the project environment. We both identified and unidentified threat and opportunities can be followed. So the risk owners should monitor the risk triggers. The risk response, okay, the risk owner must commit resources and take action once the threat or opportunity is made known, and follow the plan, risk strategy. And the last one, the risk evaluation, we provide the basis of lesson learned. It lays the foundation for identifying best practices that focus on how did we do, what can we do better next time, what lessons did we learn, and what best practices that can be incorporated. Okay. Let's go details. Okay, for the risk strategies, either we want to accept or ignore. So we need to look into the management reserve, okay, contingency reserve, as well as the contingency plan. Okay, so we need to look at it should be released by the senior management, okay, the project budget, and we also look at the contingency plan. So either we want to avoid the risk, okay, we want to mitigate the risk, okay, reduce the likelihood or the impact, and we want to transfer the risk. Okay, process number 5, the risk monitoring and control. Okay, normally we have the risk audit where there's a team from the external, not within the team members. Okay, for the risk review, it's internal. Okay, and for the risk status meeting and report, so normally we have the formal communication system. Okay, so for each of the process, for the meeting, for the report, we have a this is one of the formal communication between the project manager and team members as well as the stakeholders, project stakeholders. Okay, for the risk response plan, okay, it should include the trigger, okay, which flag that the risk has occurred. Okay, the owner of the risk, the person or group that responsible to monitor the risk and ensure the appropriate risk response is carried out. So the response based on the one of the 4 basic risk strategies, okay, avoid, mitigate, okay, transfer or accept. Okay, so we should have the adequate resources. Okay, this is example of the table. So the risk ID, who trigger the risk, the owner, response, and the resources required. Okay, so for the next step, we are going to look at this example. Okay, this is the example. We have the risk ID, the cause of the risk and the effect. Okay, the response strategy. Okay, response strategy, action, owner, and risk review. Okay, and the last one regarding the risk evaluation. Okay, for the lesson learned and the best practice that can help us, we look at into the this lesson learned and best practice help us to understand or to increase our understanding of IT project risk in general, to understand what information available to manage the risk and to make the risk-related decisions. Understand how and why a particular decision was made, understand the implication not only of the risk but also the decisions that were made, and learn from our experience so that other people may not have to repeat the same mistakes. Okay? So it's important to provide or to have the lesson learned as well as the best practice. We want to avoid people to do the same mistake, or we want to guide them, okay, this is the best practice that can be done or can be followed. Okay, so as a recap, we look at the learning objective, describe the various risk strategies, okay, risk monitoring, risk control, and risk evaluation. Okay, and this is for the mind mapping activities. Okay, so overall, we already look at the overall content of Chapter 7, Managing Risk. Okay, Managing Risk. Okay, so with that, thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.